here's Brody Brazil.
Well, in the week plus since winter meetings concluded, the A's have been busy stocking up their roster with a couple veteran free agent signings, and that's what I'm going to cover here in this video. The veteran presence for the A's for the 2023 season, including somebody they just signed today, Trevor May, 33-year-old, on a one-year, $7 million deal. If you look at Trevor's, I believe, Twitter account, his profile says that he's a right-handed pitcher in the arm barn, meaning that he comes out of the bullpen. Obviously, the A's securing a couple different spots on their roster. They've identified the bullpen as one of those, so good to add in that category. 403 innings pitched across his 8 big league seasons. He only threw 25 innings last year. He had a triceps injury that kept him out a large majority of the season. Going back to his best career year of the 8 seasons, it was back in 2019. He had a 2.94 ERA, and he pitched a handful of innings that year. Pitched a good workload, I should say. More than a handful, but a good workload. So he's not far removed from that yet. Obviously, should be interesting to see how he recovers from this injury. Overall, a career 4.35 ERA, 12 career saves, so not probably the A's closer, although that is kind of in question right now. There are some candidates, it would seem. A.J. Puck may be taken out of the bullpen conversation entirely. A lot of people thought he could go one way or the other, like be closer or go back to the rotation. I think Mark Kotsay has talked a bit about having Puck in the rotation. And so May in the bullpen, obviously, but is that to chew up a bunch of innings, be a middle reliever, be the guy to take over after the starter? Is he later on in the bullpen? Let's see where he's slotted in. Can close games, has obviously done it before. I don't know if he'll ultimately be the primary candidate for that. I also want to throw in, he's got a YouTube channel here too. I like anybody, just like me, that's got a YouTube channel. So Trevor May, I'm not hard to find. Let's collaborate. Let's do a collab. But yeah, also on social, literally within the first hour of his signing being announced, he made a reference to E40 and saying that that soundtrack is what's playing as he's being introduced to the A's. So you mentioned E40, you mentioned Too Short, you're really good in my book. Trevor May, looking forward to actually chatting with you. But the A's signing Trevor May. They also picked up Aledmys Díaz, 32 years old, plays second, plays third, plays shortstop. Obviously the right-handed batter we've seen with the Astros over the years. 582 games played in his 7 seasons in the bigs. He played 92 games last year with Houston, and I don't think it's far-fetched to project him as a 20 home run hitter. Maybe not even getting the opportunity in Houston's lineup on an every game basis like he wasn't. He will probably have that chance in Oakland. I don't know if protection in the lineup is going to be the same for him with the A's as it was with Houston. Obviously a little bit different there. But we'll take the power, whatever he can bring. How about the 266 career average? That's like a good 50 points above where the A's hit as a team. So they need on-base percentage. They need guys that can get in there and just get on base and get hits. That 266 average, hopefully it plays in Oakland. The A's will be Diaz's 4th big league organization. The A's have signed him reportedly to a deal, 2 years, $14.5 million. So good to see Aledmys Díaz coming over to Oakland. How about Jace Peterson, 32 years old, a lefty bat, plays second, plays third, plays first, plays outfield. So you can also see that theme here with Díaz and Peterson. Utility, right? Versatility. That's something the A's are drastically going to need as they start to call up even more players from their pipeline. Because you don't want to have a log jam at a certain position and then wish, well, we don't have a spot for Peterson. We like him, but we don't know where to put him. You want players that can move around, be flexible as you start to reward and give opportunities and need to have options for Mark Kotsay's lineup. For Peterson, 9 seasons, 740 games played, so not new to this by any means, a 231 career average. Last year, pretty good year, 236 average, hit what I believe was a career-high 8 homers, and played in 113 games. The A's are his 6th organization. He is signed to a 2-year deal, reportedly worth $9.5 million. So some versatility all across the board for the A's in some of these acquisitions. MANNY PIÑA was part of the Sean Murphy deal to Atlanta. He's 35 years old. He's going to be the probably backup catcher to start the season. Obviously, Langoliers, you would imagine, is the guy you want to put in there at the forefront, give him the bulk of the workload. And, there are some other options for the A's catching-wise in their pipeline, but it's nice to have some stability and veteran presence, and that's exactly what PIÑA brings. He bats right, has played only 414 games across 9 seasons, so a long tenure in the show, just not a lot of games to show for it. In fact, last year, he missed almost all of the season, only played in 5 games due to a wrist injury that needed surgery, kept him out the rest of the way. That was early when that happened. He's a .243 career hitter, and the A's are his 7th big league organization, so he's been around the block. Hopefully he knows how to adjust full well by now. I'm not saying it's ever easy coming to a new team and new everything, but he's done this before. He signed for this year. He has a player option for the 2024 season. Okay, now let's get to the players of veteran status and prominence that we know. And the reason I'm including these guys in here, like Tony Kemp, is because this is the group that as the season goes along, and I have to be honest and obvious about this, these are the players that are going to draw interest from other big league teams. These are the veterans who are known commodities, the players that the A's might shop around. And TK, man, I know you, and I don't like saying that about you, but honestly, it's a compliment about you. You're good. You're desirable. These are players of veteran status that other teams would want to take away from the A's. TK, 31 years old. He spent the last 3 years in Oakland, hit .252 here, which is, again, 30, 40 points above team average, 327 games played, primarily at second base, but also a lot of time in left field. He knows how to make the defensive highlight reel grabs, does it like literally on a weekly basis. Good fielder, good ball player, good teammate. I definitely need to throw that in there. He's hit pretty much everywhere in the order. I literally think he did hit cleanup one game. But he's versatile in that way. He's going to be a free agent in 2024. So again, just a veteran to put on your radar in that sense. Brownie, Sarge, Seth Brown, whatever you want to call him. Seth Brown is his name, but we like to call him Sarge, Bip Roberts on pre- and post-game live. 30 years old, 4 seasons now with the A's. Hit 20 and 25 homers, respectively, across the last 2 seasons. And I think a lot of us thought he could reach 30 last year. Maybe that, in a way, was a bit of a disappointment, but watch. The trend is that he will hit 30 this year, and I have no reservations that he could do that if he gets the opportunity, especially against right-handed pitching. He's obviously a lefty bat, but he hit 22 of his 25 homers last year against right-handed pitching. He loves to rake off the righties. We've seen Brownie in right, he moved out there a little bit last year. Even played some center field. I don't have that listed here, but important to know that he's that versatile. Obviously played some first and was a DH for the A's. Love the story of a 19th round draft pick from 2015 who is now ARB eligible in 2024 and becomes a free agent in 2027. The overall theme with Seth Brown trending up. This is one of the guys that I love to have now. This is one of the players you're really happy to have for the here and now. I'd love to keep him too. But I'm just saying, when you look at these A's veterans in this group, these are the ones that will be enticing as they get closer to free agency to other teams. Laser. I remember the day he made his debut with the A's. I remember thinking, I can't believe Houston let him through the cracks. What were you thinking, Astros? 28 years old, so still young in the game. Obviously, the last couple years for Ramon have been tough. He's one of my favorite dudes out there, but injuries and the suspension and the setbacks, and you could feel the frustration that he wears on his face. You could totally feel it. That's not who he is right now, and it's not where he wants to be right now. So in 5 seasons, only 407 games played, again, because of the time missed. A hit for 288 average-wise in 2018 and 19, and that's the thing, right? The bar has been set with Laser. You know what kind of ball player he can be, he is, he just hasn't been able to be in the last couple years. So the bat plays, the defense plays, my goodness, the coverage out there in center field, or even when he's been playing right field in recent times, he's got a ton of range. The arm is, well, go look it up. You're here on YouTube. Look up Ramon Laureano throw, specifically against the Angels. Yeah, that one. He could probably even run more if he was on a base-stealing team. Again, if you're looking for Laser, as an addition to your group, I think you could give him the steal sign a lot more and he'd be able to do it. I just don't think the A's take advantage of that enough. That's not their style. He's ARB eligible this year and becomes a free agent in 2026. I just hope for Ramon Laureano that he truly is on the rebound like I'm pretty sure that he is. Cole Irvin, let's get to pitchers. 28, the lefty, is an out-getter. I think that's the best way to describe him. The walk ratio per 9 innings has always been stellar. He's so efficient. He throws strikes. He averages less than 2 walks per 9 innings last season. He also averaged kind of an uptick in strikeouts, which for him is maybe the catch-22. You'd rather go longer in games, throw less pitches, get more outs on fewer pitches, and to strike somebody out, like it takes at least 3 strikes, if not a couple other foul tips and other balls and pitches. So 3.5 strikeouts per walk, I should say, in 2022. So the strikeout to walk ratio is good. The walk per 9 innings ratio is good. He's a pitcher that's always been, an out-getter, very efficient in his starts. In fact, I think was he throwing like 14 pitches per inning last year and even 2 seasons ago? He keeps it really low. 32 starts 2 years ago, 30 starts this past year. Knock on wood and everything else. The durability, the consistency. He sets an expectation that he can match. I love that about Cole Irvin. Mainstay is the word I chose to use for Swervin' Irvin. He's ARB eligible in 24, a free agent in 2027. Look, as you approach, deals the A's are making and players that they acquire, I mean, look, they got him from the Phillies for literally cash. Now, I understand what he's doing here and now may not have the most impact because the rest of the team has struggled in a variety of ways, like scoring runs and losing 102 games last year. But like these are the finds that the A's are capable of. They found him. I'm so glad he's been able to flourish with the Oakland A's. There's no doubt about it. One of the leaders of the rotation and leaders by example. The Bay Area native, how about Paul Blackburn, 29 years old, the righty, the starting pitcher, had a breakout 2022. He was named to the All-Star team. Now, the second half, injured plus tailed off numerically, almost like the All-Star game cursed him a little bit. It's a dumb way of thinking, but just looking at the splits and the stats, things did kind of detach from the early season and the real good success he had out of the gate. 48 starts across 6 seasons last year by far, and it was probably at least a quarter of those 48. Across the other 6 seasons, I don't think he had ever made 3 or 4 starts in a row, maybe 2 or 3, then sent down, then returned and a couple. And last year, I think he got past like 12 starts in a season for the very first time at the big league level. So opportunity for me is what Paul Blackburn is going to do the best in. I hope he stays healthy for it. I hope he can capitalize on it. I hope he can build on how he started last year. He is ARB eligible here in 2023 and a free agent in 2026. James KAPRIELIAN, Cap. Now, I've heard that he's got the shoulder issue, had some surgery. They're hoping that he's ready some point in spring training. So he got last year set back a little bit with injury. Unfortunately, it looks like to some degree that's going to happen again for 2023. But he's 24 years old, 3 seasons in the bigs, 47 starts. Remember that first one, like in Boston, where his dad, Doug, was there? It was awesome. He pitched great against the Red Sox. 47 starts, a 4.20 ERA, 257 innings pitched, and snake bit last year. The start to it, slow start after that, pitched well, just couldn't get a win. I think he was 5 or 6 or 7 starts in and definitely should have had a win. Like he earned getting a decision by then, but the team just couldn't help him out with run support. Looking at last year, his strikeouts were down a little bit. His walks were up a little bit. So hopefully for Cap, you can just get back to what he had been doing before that. 16th pick overall in 2015. Again, I love those types of stories. Players from rounds like that come in and have success, earn a spot in the rotation. And for James KAPRIELIAN, arbitration eligible in 2024 and a free agent in 2027. So that's a look at the A's veteran group for 2023. And I know this is an interesting mix, right? Because you are excited about the pipeline and the players coming up and the players you've been hearing about, their names, to see them actually in the present. But it's also, like I said, it's important to have a veteran presence for this group to help keep the club together. I'm telling you, last year, based on everything that they went through, to have a Stephen Vogt, a Chad Pinder, and even a Mark Kotze as the skipper, those are glue individuals that hold a group together. And I don't mean to exclude a Cole Irvin or a Tony Kemp, but the real long veterans of the team, those are the types of players that you need for your group to have success and the young guys to get a good first impression of big league ball. So I hope that these veterans can provide that. Obviously, you saw the second half of my list. They're the returning veterans. I just wish them the best in whatever happens in their seasons, this one and beyond, for the Oakland A's. Let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for being here. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See ya.